Hello, this is Katie Oshiwanita with Harmonizing Journey to Realignment Seminar and Sessions. The topic today is the Eye of the Jackal and HJR Insight. So, at this point, we are, we and the planet all have pretty heavy shadow bodies. Even those of us who have been doing the shadow work still have heavy miasmic reverse dead light crystals within our templates, which keep us in this current reality plane. We all probably have billions of years of not dealing with the good, the bad, and the ugly. This article will focus on understanding what the shadow body is and how it's affecting us as we move into New Earth. We will begin to look at ideas on how we can deal with the shadow self. This is basically part one of the definition of the shadow. After all, defining the problem is half the battle. Okay, so the shadow body. In analytical psychology, the shadow, also known as ego dystonic complex, repressed id, shadow aspect, or shadow archetype, is an unconscious aspect of the personality that does not correspond with the ego ideal, leading the ego to resist and project the shadow, creating conflict with it. The shadow may be personified as archetypes, which relate to the collective unconscious, such as the trickster. And I got this out of Wikipedia, shadow psychology. Um, from a chelonic science perspective, the shadow consists of portions of our energetic consciousness operating at lower frequencies, created by unassimilated beliefs, ideas, emotions, and memories stored in our D2 emotional bodies. And that was from the Chelonic Dictionary, page 188. Another way of saying it is all the trapped emotions we have shut ourselves down from feeling, not just in this lifetime, but in all our incarnate lifetimes, backwards and forwards through time. This elemental unconscious being is also our pain body. Eckhart Tolle brought in his New Earth book talks about the pain body, and I also reference it in the HR Grid Keeper's Handbook, which aligns with the phantom Earth or eighth sphere. The more trapped emotions a person has, uh, the stronger and more developed this phantom shadow being becomes. The harder it becomes to align with the crystal spiral organic timeline. The easier it is. Sorry, I started my phone talk and I forgot to put to cut off the notification sound. Um, the harder it becomes to align with the crystal spiral organic timeline, the easier it is to be caught up with the divergent Metatronic tube torus Fibonacci death spiral of the phantom matrix. If this sounds scary, well, it actually kind of should. But it's not hopeless, especially if you are reading my post. People who are running the transhumanist AI deep state mindset have absolutely no interest in my work. I have absolutely no interest in my work. So this says something very positive about you. But even with that, we still have elemental fragments acting like trickster energy, exposing us to holographic inserts and interfering with our alignment with the higher organic spiral. For it too wants to live. Looking within your inner vision, the shadow stands to your left shoulder by an energetic cord. It is vulnerable to the shadow dancers within the phantom matrix. They are the deformed reverse jackals that have been ruling over the shadow self for a very long time. I knew this. The jackal did not start out that way. He was first known by other names such as Impu, INPU, and then there's an INPW or ANPU. He was responsible for helping reassemble Osiris's dismembered parts. One could say that he helped bring the fragmented shadow aspects of Osiris back together. At death, he weighed the person's soul to see if it was as light as a feather to pass from our realm of net earth back into Amenti, the Amenti sphere, which would then be in alignment to us at the time, go back into Tara, our soul level. Okay, so next we're going to look at how we got to this point, and first of a shadow body. But first we need to look at, a little historically, something called the Templar Seals. And this is out of Voyagers 2, The Secrets of Amenti by Ashana Dean, pages 32 through 38 of the physical book. So, okay, so there were 2 Templar seals placed on the sphere of Amenti, affecting the patriarchal Templar Melchizedek Syrian Anunnaki lineage. The Hall/Sphere of Amenti, or the Covenant of Pallador, is the morphogenic template upon which the angelic humans originally entered HU1 550 million years ago. The first seal was placed on the 6th DNA strand 10,000 years ago. Certain patriarchal Templar Melchizedek Syrian Anunnaki and their Atlantean Anunnaki about 32,000 years ago had become members of the priesthood of Melchizedek from Tara HU2, or Harmonic Universe 2. This priesthood was known, so they became members of that priesthood back on Tara, and this was a matriarchal Tauran cloistered family of Melchizedek that they joined, who carried the original sacred law of one teachings of the Melchizedek morphogenic cloister within their genetic makeup. Now, here on Earth, 10,000 years ago, which is basically around 8,000 BC, that particular cloister group, matriarchal group, of angelic humans, became known as the Blue Flame Speakers, okay, on Earth, within that Melchizedek organization. This union helped offset some of the distortions in the Templar Melchizedek Turin line, same lineage line, but it's a slightly different branch, or majorly different branch, which had been responsible, which the Templar originally responsible for the original destruction of Terra. Both groups were ancestrally affiliated with the Terranesian one sub-race, no, Chadvedakz from Terra. Their name also denoted their genetic affiliation with the entity Gestalt Melchizedek from the realities beyond the metagalactic course, again, primal light and sound fields, the Rishi. There are many divergent races bearing traces of this lineage. There are many who bear the title of initiates of the Melchizedek priest order, but are not part of the race line. It's a kind of understanding when we hear the term Melchizedek. It's a complicated term. All right. The Templar Anu, so basically this is a reversed lineage, fallen angelic line. So we have the Anu or Anunnaki. So the Templar Anu Melchizedek had brought their distorted second creation finite mechanics, elitist, sexist, male dominant, quote unquote, might is right program into the Syrian Anunnaki cultures of Atlania, Atlania, that was seeding 2, and Atlantis, seeding 3. So they've been involved with the Earth's history for a while. They too were priests of who controlled the planetary ascension mechanics on Terra and had dominion on seeding 3 Earth up until the Melchizedek priesthood of and the Paladorian Council of Tara were able to transfer stewardship back, really it's back, um, but stewardship of the staff of Amenti Blue Flame Tara's morphogenic field from their distorted, unbalanced Templar priests over to the balanced organic original cloister matriarchal Melchizedek ancestral line about 10,000 years ago. They've been coexisting together. And again, I've talked about seeding 3 basically has a lot of problems, a lot of issues. But they got themselves together enough to be able to take the blue flame back, not blue sword, something else, blue flame back of their Melchizedek origins, the primal light and Rishi levels. The cloister, oh, and I guess I'm getting that to add that, I talked about the biofeed interface system. You can't have a planet without its people. You're not going to have people without a planet. Biofeed interface, personal planetary morphogenic field structure. They work together. Okay. The cloister Melchizedek priests, now having control over the Amenti blue flame staff, began disassociating themselves from the distorted second creation Melchizedek Templar priest. In turn, then, placing the first 6-dimensional frequency seal within the Anu Templars templates within the halls/sphere of Amenti. This affected the Templar Melchizedek and their offspring, preventing them from ascending from Earth to Tara through the Amenti gates without first learning how to live by the law of one and no longer living by the second creation finite programs. Okay. Note from me is, oops, hold on. Personally, in hindsight, what we did was probably a really stupid thing for us to do. We are still paying for that choice, as most third seeding bodies have this coding. I feel there is more behind that situation than Iesha told. The decision probably also led, in my opinion, to the event that caused the second seal and the shadow body and some other things. It's just really bad. I get why we did it. It was logical. It was an alignment from an unemotional, position. But it just, yeah, it just made for. Um, but it's not the first bad choice. We've got many bad choices over many millennia. All right, but we did the best we could at the time. All right, the second Templar seal occurred 3,500 years ago during the reign of Pharaoh Akhenaten, when certain descendants of the Templar Melchizedeks living in Egypt were part of the royal family and held positions of power. They ended up violating the covenant of Palador when they abused the authority given to them to take down Akhenaten, who was the caretaker of the Amenti staff and gold box of Giza, which he used to help people ascend back into Terra. The end result was, so again, part of it is releasing the seal that was there. They worked with people there and their descendants to do that. And those that did, but more than most likely, the ones that had the Templar seal, I'm going to say, um, were working to release that seal. End result was a cataclysmic event orchestrated by this Anu Templar group to open the D2 portal for them, who bore the Templar seal, to ascend back to Terra through D1 and D2 underworlds. Do the work. I want to take self-responsibility. It's me. I want it my own way. Okay. Okay. event unleashed many chaotic forces upon the earth, and many humans with distorted template were released from the seal of Pallador and Amenti to enter Terra. Since the writing of the Voyager's book, Darkness has fallen and is no longer a viable option for ascension, which is part of why the Crystal Bridgeway Integral Bridge, Seven Bridges Flows, or as I like to say, the Rainbow Pillar Bridge bypass system was created. The remaining Templar souls that did not make it through to Terra and were part of this shitstorm event received a seventh dimensional seal called the Templar Exant seal. And it's also a little added bit why right now we're in the middle of also creating a whole new to connect in this bypass system, a whole new matrix light body structure, which is what we're working on in our Good Keepers group as well, is embodying that. Both seals have affected pretty much all of humanity. Rarely do you find someone whose ancestors did not interbreed with the Templar animal Melchizedek and the Hebrew hybrids or Hebrew, who then interbred with other racial strains. Included in the outcome was that certain breeding programs with visiting Anunnaki groups created the Nephilim and Anunnaki lines added to the problem. Okay. And whatever it with that. Thank you with that. Event and there's history in the book about the Nephilim. They ended up anyway, that's its own story. Eventually, all the Magi, Indigo, Angelic Grail line tribes interbred with this particular Templar group, or in their aunts, either directly with them or through their ancestors. Interbred with them, either willingly or many times unwillingly. After all, most people actually believe that Yahweh or Elohim is God the Father. Whose father is the question? While there is a legit Elohim who is actually one of the three of our God's lineage, right? The blue flame bearers. The Old Testament and to a certain extent the New Testament refer to the Anunnaki fallen angelic lineage, not Aya Aya, God's first eternal Yumi Yesthayet, although it's there, but it's more whenever it's mentions about Yahweh or Elohim, they're mentioning the Anu, Melchizedek lineage, which basically only go up to 11.5. Okay. Don't even make it to the full avatar level. Make that connection to their primary light and sound fields connection. But in their defense, Yahweh was part of a Band-Aid host fixer-up program that failed. Okay, there's a few that failed. The Muslim religion is one of those as well. The first for the Dracos, the first Templar Melchizedek sealed souls became known also as the original 666 because within their DNA, the sixth base tone of the first strand, the sixth base tone of the fifth strand, and the sixth base tone of the sixth strand were removed from their morphogenic field or fields. Okay, now we can get a little bit more down and dirty into the mechanics behind the creation of the shadow body itself. So, this division created unintended consequences, causing a polarization of the fourth DNA strand. This created a barrier between the natal capsule that separates the mental body from the D4 astral body. So going from density 1 to density 2. We could then, at that point after that, we could then travel only on the lower astral level. This created a separation within the astral awareness of a lower and higher identity. Again, Steiner gets into a lot of this. The lower became the evil twin or dweller on the threshold, that is referenced in older initiation science doctrine. Steiner references the lower and higher dweller of the threshold in his work. He's very good information that he brought through. The lower represents all your karmic debt trusts, basically. The higher dweller of the threshold, or we could say stuck emotions. The higher dweller of the threshold represents the I spirit identity transcending the physical world. And get she does talks about each density realm and I ego self, the kind of mental body that kind of holds a particular reference construct. The density planes all aligning the goal to align all those eyes together to one avatar identity. And then that connects to higher levels of eyes. Spirit eyes, okay? I as in I, not EYE. All right. The second strand, okay. The second strand distortion, the second strand distortion created a division within the emotional elemental body, resulting in two levels of the subconscious, the higher level and the lower level. The higher level held identity fragment of identity. The lower subconscious created a chaotic emotional force, shadows, that exaggerated human primitive emotional impulses. And I feel like that also connected to the ancient moon teaching as well. Also known as the pain, again, as the pain body. This distortion also caused a blockage between the first, second, and third chakras, blocking our ability to communicate with the body and the earth elemental kingdom. Okay. The eye of the jackal of Anubis to Judgment Day is connected to the eye of Horus, the eye of Elohim / galactic core, the eye of Yahweh, and the eye of Metatron. These eyes, EYES, were once hosting waves that became trapped in the phantom. Meaning, if you connect now to those portal ways, you will be taken into the phantom matrix, not to the organic crystal spiral. The teachings associated with those old hosting portal ways still contain valuable information, right? Because they're part of the original Law of One teachings. And those who are ancestrally connected to these lineages, the lineages the portal ways were responsible for, still have a purpose to heal their distortions and once again to live by the law of one. Okay. In health now, and this keep in mind, in a healthy, functional system, one just needs to acquire enough positive karma frequency to activate the DNA to align at will with the bigger aspects of self as a Maharata D12 crystal's avatar. In the more ancient past, this would mean a collective family group could ascend out, right? They all kind of added up in many ways, partly to that soul level, oversoul, and to the avatar level, right? They all work together or align together. Some individuals could ascend on their own, but this is very rare. Usually collectives that seated together had to leave together. Okay. I still think for the most part that's correct, but I think the more we develop our individuated eyes, the less that's important, thankfully. When you've got a family lineage that's gone to trash. Anyway, regarding the mess, certain guardian groups became administrators of the Templar Axion seal. One group was within the Arcturian races, and another race in Andromeda, which I have a feeling is the Alhambra. This is back at long time ago before the Alhambra were officially here, but I'm going to say anybody from Andromeda groups high up are Alhambra. The only ones that can remove the Templar seal proved by the Rock Confederacy from within the galactic core and its Axios ammonite, Amonite. Axios is Axious, and Azrite gestalt families. Okay, so we're talking primalite and cyanogens, maybe a little bit bland, who orchestrated the seals to protect Earth, Tara, and humanity, right? Because that's the reason we were dumbasses and did the seals to begin with. I think it caused more problems. I don't know that it really helped. But anyway, at least it didn't, it hurt Earth. Let's put it that way. And it didn't really help Terra because Terra's crashed as well. So, but anyway, that was the goal. Okay, so the Elohim, Pleiadian, Syrian Council, and other assistants from higher harmonic universes. Again, I think a big part of them was Alhambra. Work to assist unintended Templar seal bearers like you and me, right? The ones that ancestral connect ancestors of those original ones that had borne the seal, their ancestors and ones that the ancestors that bred with the original angelic humans. So yes, like you and me. So back in the day, the Book of the Dead or Judgment Day, upon which the jackal or dog determines if your heart is as light as a feather in healing the wounded, fragmented parts. And are you in the law of one to which your soul is ripe enough to be harvested and released from the Templar seals to make it through the portal way back to Amenti, and these souls traveled into the Andromeda systems first before they could reach six-dimensional Terra, but still had to work to make it through. I think the period of time they had to come back to Earth, do some work, and then go back in, but they had to really on Terra, work through the seventh dimensional seal to go beyond. Now, the jackal shadow dancers connected to the old fallen host eye portal networks will harvest you into the Phantom Matrix if you connected at those portalways. Eek, eeky weekies. All right, so the Guardian Alliance, okay, has been working through the freedom teachings to bring humanity, the angelic human, back to ascension of living in a. They are currently doing it through the Tantria First Spirit teachings of the Rainbow Pillar bypass system. The KDDL material went through 3 workshops by Ahrayas Productions or Ahrayas.com, Ahrayas, are a great resource to learn from. Our HJR, the HJR Gridkeeper Handbook, the HJR Gridkeepers Community Membership Program, our Harmonizing Journey to Realignment Foundation, our Harmonizing Journey to Realignment Foundation series, YouTube Lives, and HJR Private Sessions give one an excellent introduction to what the law of one actually means. Please check first. Healing the shadows. So kind of looking at here, we're going to go the next session. Next post is going to get a little bit more detailed, but probably look a little bit more into the Gridkeeper book, some other material. But healing the shadow. So the shadow self is not something to be fearful of or trying to get out. The shadow is an unintegrated collection of kilo-encoded emotions, beliefs, and memories. The shadow is holding enormous parts of the spirit soul essence. The goal is to reintegrate these aspects into yourself, become whole and complete. Parts unable to reintegrate better to as you're working on this stuff, that just no matter what you do, they're just not fine. It's good to work, and there's, especially with the private sessions, HJR sessions, working to, which you don't have to work with that, but it, because with that mechanics, those parts that can't realign and recalibrate and integrate back into field integrity where your physical body is right here. They connect back into your eternal being and basically kind of can be realigned and recalibrated back into your eternal being with a certain type of, depending upon where you're at development. If you're doing the work, you can literally have those parts realign and recalibrate crystically back into their conscious selves, and then eventually possibly integrated back into your physical body consciousness here, or they can their own way together. What big a part of it and all kind of details of um, but the bottom line is you don't want trapped aspects to stay in the Phantom Matrix. You want them released out of the Phantom Matrix. Thank you very much. At least I do. I don't know. You may not want to, but I do. Um, the HJR Grid Keeper's Handbook focuses on a variety of ways to heal the shadow aspects of self. The Harmonizing Journey to Realignment sessions help release these trapped beliefs, emotions, and memories, realigning and calibrating them within the whole of one's being. HJR utilizes Keylonic science and the Tandria Herd teachings by Ashiana Dean Ahrayas, as well as emotion codes, soul realignment technology, with Katie Oshimanita's personal Alhambra clan family. Okay, there are, of course, many other modalities that help with this process of releasing stuck emotions within the D2 body. Highly recommend human practitioners, soul realignment, and Dr. Bradley Nelson's emotion codes modalities too. And would love to hear what you have found that works as well. HTTQ, I can't remember exactly what it's called. Can't even remember. Dolores Cannon. Sorry, heard that earlier. Dolores Cannon. Those sessions are very helpful as well. I enjoy watching those videos and getting this information. Okay. In summary, in understanding what the shadow is, we realize it is a lifelong, if not many lifetimes, endeavor to heal. One does not have to be perfect in the healing process, but we do need to take full self-responsibility for all the good, bad, and ugly that we have created on this planet, and probably beyond. Or we can keep feeding the VV game of so-and-so and that demon, fallen angelic group or whatever did such and such to me. Okay. Giving those beings power. The buck stops with our personal planetary morphogenic template, which we are continuously creating with every breath we take. We are then finally able to learn that the law of one, what the law of one is about. We can then reconnect with our true guardian clan family to embody, ascend into our soul, oversoul, avatar self, and beyond. We will finally be able to release the Templar seals to integrate our shadow for once and for all. In the follow-up to Eye of the Jackal and HJR Insight, we will address topics such as power struggles within Trust Yourself and the new Shadow Dancer players, and probably more that I come up with, but that was just what I usually had. And probably when I get into doing the post, I will start getting more information coming through. We look forward to your thoughts and insights on this topic. Please like, share, and subscribe to both the website and YouTube if you have not already. And always make sure you hit that notification button too, to make sure when I do have something, you will be receiving it. Again, reminder, Harmonizing Journey to Realignment Foundation series YouTube lives. Please check them out. Mastery of Keylanta and HJR Insights Tarot shows. And you can see more details in the HJR Seminar Series page on the website. Also, of course, on Harmonizing Journey YouTube channel, you can get more information there. There's also links here in the post, as well as in the description below. HJR Private Sessions, Harmonizing Journey to Realignment utilizes Keylanta and the Tandria Herd mechanics. Both sciences are the original first organic first creation mechanics. The mechanics work with the organic light body and plasma spirit body structure to bring you back to the organic first creation mechanics of the eternal domain of the all it is. This technology relies the artificial finite second creation Fibonacci tube torus net earth program with its natural perpetually renewing organic ascension new earth expression. The introduction HJR session is a must for doing soul healing work and a requirement to be an HJR good keeper. Also available are private HJR tarot sessions to answer questions and work through problems. The introductory HJR session is recommended but not required to get the most out of these tarot sessions. Okay. HJR Grid Keepers Community Membership. Harmonizing Journey to Realignment. HJR defines the Grid Keeper as one who mindfully develops a personal relationship with their clan spirit family, which is their authentic expression. The Grid Keeper then consciously aligns their lone harmonic, authentic, eternal expression with the core of the earth plane for healing and mindful co-creating with all life everywhere as the eternal God source, first eternal Aya, embodying a new earth now. You are more than welcome to just join for the healing work. When you're ready, we will meet with you during the monthly session. You are also welcome to join the live sessions once you have a to be in. You remember. And also there's a link here in the post and also in the private sessions page and the HJR seminars page, the HJR Grid Keepers Handbook. There's a PDF and a paperback available. And Waking in Alania book series. While the story appears to be a typical science fiction tale, it is actually a piece of Earth's ancient hidden history. Much of the past I had remembered through my affiliation with the Freedom Teachings of Keylontic Science. The rest was through the characters' lives in the story shared through me, Kara Edgewood, Ganado, Prince Caldor, Queen Asana, and even General Damien all have a place in my heart. I was glad I could get their story down on paper. The books were a long time in coming. And yes, for those that it's just a little overwhelming with the technicals of Keylanta, this is more kind of the spirit and heart. And it does, everybody I talk to that's read the book always talk about how it activates them and aligns them and wakes them up just by reading the books. So that's pretty awesome. So yes, I hope you enjoy reading it as much as I enjoyed writing it. Again, please like and share this post on all your social media platforms. Got to get the word out. I am also looking forward to hearing your thoughts on the discussion. Please subscribe to Harmonizing Journey blog if you have not yet, or even YouTube channel. Donations are always appreciated. This is completely how I make my living. I sustain and maintain to be able to continue producing this material. It's very helpful that y'all let me know that you appreciate the work that I do and help me out. And yeah, donation link is here in the post as well as in the description box of the YouTube post. Okay. Much love and peace, Katie Oshiwanita, the HJR Navigator, helping others to connect with their multidimensional clan family. All right, thank you all. Look forward to when we connect. Hopefully I'll see you in one of the YouTube lives. And much love and peace, which June 2nd, if you are watching this before June 2nd or on June 2nd at 1 p.m. EDT, 6 p.m. BST, will be the Mastery of Keylanta show. So love you. Talk to you later. Take care and goodbye.